everybody. We are doing a playtest today. Mentioned in the forums that this playtest is mostly a sanity check. We generally start doing a lot more of those as we kind of are reaching a critical mass of changes and want to see how close we are to releasing. So, to be clear, this is not the build we're going to release, but it puts us on the path to, looking at the next build. So, anyway. We got me, we got Kevin, we've got DJ, who is Iniferator, Kevin, who's K. Francis, T. Vanita, who is Tom, and Brad, of course. And Booyah, the AI, who will probably come in and make life miserable for all of us. And I appear to have a metric ton of metal. Which, not exactly going to be complaining about. So we're on about a 700 desert planet right here. A little bit of water, so we can actually get some naval going. And let's see. I think most of the stuff that you're going to see today is primarily stuff we've already shown off. We might see a few new things that I have since forgotten about. Oh, there is some new artwork, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah. So yeah, so whenever the next build comes online, it is primarily going to be about balance. It's going to have some stability fixes and other changes, but it's not going to be a huge necessarily feature release, other than things like ping and some of those nice little things you guys have seen coming on board over the last week or two. That's a new trick. Let's write some notes down while I'm playing here. Let's see. Right. Yeah. Winning important, but making sure the game is continuing to improve similarly important. So I found Brad so far. There's the AI. We got Tom. And who we have here? That looks like that's Kevin. Okay. So the only one I haven't seen yet is Inf. So that's why we do these periodic sanity tests, so we can just start to find some of those problems. All right. Let's at least do a little bit of path restriction here. Can leave a couple ways in and out, but I don't want unfettered access to my base. Because we've seen what happens when I let that happen. Seem to be getting a slightly better sense of my economy now with recent balance changes. Not tending to get blitzed quite so quickly now. Let's get those guys going up there. Oh, actually over there. Alright. So, if you guys are watching and have questions, I'm keeping an eye on the chat channel, so feel free to hop in. Yeah, I really don't like having Brad quite that close. It just seems badness waiting to happen. But I did kind of hit the jackpot on the metal here. And I'm really liking these desert planets. I like the nice mix of a little bit of water, good terrain limits. Just really kind of enjoying how they feel. Trying to antagonize Brad a little bit early here, because otherwise he will send the giant death ball of bots. Clearly he's already started. So glad I'm not wasting any time. Got some more factories coming up, and I'll start prepping them shortly. Hello there. Welcome to the channel. And I think my economy is already doing well enough that I could potentially even get started with some Tech 2. I think I'm going to try and get some Tech 2 Air up and running. Meta is not casting today because Meta is not in the office today. So let's get a single T2 bot factory up and running. And let's get an air factory up and running. There we go. And wow, I managed to not blitz my economy for once. You know, it's been known to happen. Metal's falling a little behind, but not too bad. Or energy, I should say. Get him going. And I think I need to remember to get off planet a little earlier. Or at least get my orbital layer built up. This game is rapidly getting a ton of stuff you need to be tracking at all times. for the, not a ton of you yet, but, you know, like I said, if you have questions, just hop in the channel and say hi. Let me know what your questions are. I'll answer what I can, of course. I think that will just be my bomber factor for now. Yeah, actually it is SXX. If you noticed, I'm just tapping that to alternate between the two. So I don't know if it's working in the mainline build at the moment. I know it's working in our local build though, because I just showed you. Yeah, exactly. Just tap the icon. Yeah, exactly. All right. I think it's time to go say hi to Brad. Getting my energy close to caught up again, so let's speed that up. Can you tell I've learned the dangers of ignoring Mr. Nicholson? Oh. Oh, crap. Well, that was quick. All right. I guess I'll be spectating from now on. I should have been watching my coastline, apparently. Anyway. Or I just need to pay slightly better attention to my notifications. Yeah, I'm dead now. So anyway, this will be fun. It's a good chance to kind of watch. Although it looks like a number of people are realizing the dangers of leaving Brad alone, so he's getting picked on pretty hard already. Kevin and Tom are gonna... Oh, yeah, they're gonna start throwing down here pretty quick, I think.
How did you die?
An Infrared snuck up on my coastline. I had some stuff queued up to build there, but I hadn't even been paying attention. And right when my notifications popped up, he had a couple ships there. And by the time I actually noticed the notifications, Commander snipe.
That sucks. Holy crap. I looked at the screen and I'm like, holy crap.
What I did with Orbital Shell is I've set it to the setting where it automatically turns on as soon as I zoom out past a certain level. It doesn't always work exactly the way I want it to, but more often than not, it seems pretty good. Oh, this could be the end of Brad if he's not paying attention. Oh, Brad's getting picked on hard. Although DJ needs to remember that he needs to move those tanks a little bit closer than he is. They have a very short range. But his commander is going to get hosed. Even with the D-gun, those guys do a lot of damage really quickly. Yeah. 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 He survived that one, so. What tanks are those? Those are the Infernos, so they're a new Tech 1, effectively a short-range siege tank. They're designed basically to be really good breaking through walls, surviving a fair amount of hits coming in. And then you also have a similar one at the advanced tier. Yeah, there's been a lot of work been put into headlights and just improving the overall game lighting. You can see these guys here actually have a bit of light on them now. Oh, Brad is toast. Okay, 2 of us down. I intentionally chose a relatively small planet because I wanted to make sure that we got into the got in and started fighting pretty quick. All right, no one's messing with the AI yet. They're gonna regret that. Yep. He is now an ex-parrot. Oh, Kevin going on the offense. Mr. Pinbender. And Skathis is coming to my desk to watch the cast. Now that I got my butt kicked and Brad has joined me in ignoble defeat.
DJ. Hey, so cool, man. Tank's very effective against bots early game. That's good. I mean, there's an offensive counter to it, man.
Yes, no bot rushes for Brad today. He was getting picked on pretty hard and pretty early.
It was by DJ too. He was just handing it to him.
But here's the thing, though, Brad. Take a chance.
Ooh. And Naval has seen some pretty significant rebalance, which is one of the reasons I wanted to make sure that this time, unlike last game, I actually got some naval ships up and running. Yeah, Kevin's pushing hard this game. Although he better torpedo launchers will wreck your ships. He needs to move within range a little bit closer. Naval is a lot better balanced now. I think Skathis still has quite a bit of work he wants to do on it, but next time you play him, they're going to feel quite a bit different. They're still slow, not quite as slow as I think they are in mainline right now. But as you saw, I mean, I had almost no warning when an Infiltrator snuck up on me, and my commander was dead within, by the time it took me to respond to the actual notifications. Yeah, this is just debugging. There's not a whole lot of additions in this build. We're just kind of doing an overall stability check and make sure that, we're kind of trending well towards a release at some point. This build will not get released because we're waiting on some things, but... Oh yeah, look at that. Well, I feel okay about that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
That jerk always kills me. As you can see from the skeleton of my poor base. Although right now, I think actually the AI has the edge, although only a little bit over DJ. So the gun per unit limitation is a relatively tricky thing. There's a couple things client side that need to be done to deal with it, but also it needs a fair bit of history system work to support it. Technically, the sim already understands the concept of multiple guns. If you see, like the Narwhal actually can fire on land and anti-air at the same time, but the weapons themselves cannot aim independently, so it can cause some weird behavior. That is coming. It's kind of one of those middle priority things. It's one of those things we definitely want to get taken care of, but it's unfortunately at the moment a little still cart before horse, so we're working on some other things in the meantime. Oh, that was neat. I've never seen a D-gun loop before. The D-gun just did a loop-to-loop before it impacted. And I really shouldn't call it that. The Uber cannon did a loop-to-loop. I think I will be running that by someone after the playtest to ask what happened. Alright. So what's going on over here? Oop. Oh, is DJ starting to push him now? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's gonna snipe Commander again with his tanks. D-gun yet? Or the Uber cannon yet? Yeah. Has he got any... Oh, he's even got some advanced units in there. So yeah, his commander's toast.
Unless he gets him off planet.
Not a chance, he's dead.
Yep.
Alright. And now there were three. Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to see the multiple weapons simply because you look at design of things like the battleship, it was designed specifically with two front-facing guns and two back-facing guns so they can bombard different targets at the same time. And right now they're not really capable of doing that. So, one sec. Yeah, the flame tanks and the Inferno tanks and the Vanguard tanks are pretty rough to deal with. These guys. Oh wait, no, that's the Sheller. I was gonna say that's not the right art. I don't know if he has any additional advanced ones up yet. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the Vanguard. Very close range, high hit points, but you got to get him close. But you combine those with the right units, and you can tear up your enemy pretty good. Let's see. So it looks like at least someone's. Oh yes, we got some off planets. Haha! I wondered if Tom had done that. He won't want for metal. And is anyone here yet, or are they just on the? Okay, so they're just on their way right now. So let's get some cameras set up so we can a little more readily see what's going on. And there we go. Okay. Now we can a little more rapidly swap between. And I'm watching for questions again. So the different commanders aren't purely cosmetic, but you got to remember that they have to be pretty cosmetic. If the balance on them or the play of them is too radically different, it either underpowers or overpowers the units, and especially early game, that is kind of a game wrecker. There will be some slightly different stylistic stuff with them, but it's it won't probably be and can't really be drastically different. So I will keep watching, and guys can keep on asking, and I'll answer what I can. Well, deep space travels. Okay, so deep space travel speed is actually going to be handled on a unit by unit basis. We're going to be adding control in the JSON to tell an individual unit how fast they can travel, because we need to be able to balance that on a per unit basis. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, the commanders are going to be very similar. Their weapons will behave a little bit differently, but out of necessity, they can't be drastically different in terms of how they play. I imagine how you use your actual, your Uber cannon, your laser, your missile, will certainly be able to allow for slightly different decisions on how you react to someone, attacking your base, whatnot, or commander rushing. But yeah, and I'm on ATI. Keep in mind, and despite being later game, even in the recent build, up until 2 weeks ago, I would still be a little bit below 10 frames per second right now, and I'm pushing 15, running 1080p. So only streaming at 720 just because I don't want to eat too much bandwidth, but. Let's see what else is going on. DJ is doing what DJ is always doing, which is taking over like a virus. Tom is fairly quickly here going to have an unbeatable base. And there goes the asteroid. I fully expect people will want to get, make modded versions of the game where the commander plays a very significant role, and the commanders have radically different balance. And that's one of the reasons, we're obviously big fans overall of allowing for that sort of thing, is simply because while, we need kind of generic vanilla gameplay to be pretty well balanced across the board, modding allows for a lot of different play styles that don't necessarily have those exact same constraints. I think fairly quickly, once server modding happens, it's also going to be pretty easy to get a number of other game modes where you have, kind of capture the flag type stuff and, more MOBA style. I can't see it as being that much of a stretch for people to pretty easily throw some interesting game modes together once they have access to that stuff. So, what kind of rig am I running on? It's an i7. It's a 6870 ATI card. Probably 16 gigs RAM. Generally, I do all my dev work off of an SSD, but this version of the client is actually just running off of a spindle drive. And Tom is effectively kicked off the main planet now. Yeah, it's a tiny asteroid. I made it, I think, at a 125, so it only needs three Haleys to actually make it move. This one, I think, is 400, so I'm pretty sure it's not actually movable. Yeah, it's not movable. Gimpy Prime. Alright, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty much it for Tom on the main planet. So the Vanguard actually uses a high fire rate close range shell, but I mean effectively it works much the same way. So no, the limit on asteroids is I think actually 350, but anything towards that size takes quite a few engines to actually move. So. I want to see if we can see some dark side. Yeah, there we go. Someone, SXS had commented on the lights looking really good, and as you can see, Ben Bigolas on the forums has been doing quite a bit of work to get the headlights looking really good, and just actually overall improving the quality of the ambient light. I think up until his pass, what few headlights you saw in the game were done by yours truly, and frankly, I am really not very much of an artist, so. Oh, and the first nukes are starting to come in. The limit on how big a planet you can move with Haleys is entirely determined by us. There's no realistic limit other than what we kind of want, what we think makes for decent balance and just basically fun gameplay. Walls are still walls. What else would walls be? Oh. Oh. Kevin got annihilated. I need to see what actually happened there. Aha. Bomber snipe. Oh, gunship snipe. Ouch. Alright. Well, that explains that. And now there are two. Although Tom better watch his backside because I have a feeling Mr. DJ here is going to start nuking pretty readily. Yeah, I'm looking. We're going to be working more on spectator in general, and I'm looking forward to being able to see when things like notification for someone else's nuke that you're spectating goes off, because I think that's going to happen here pretty soon. Oh yeah, did you guys like the gunships? Those guys are looking pretty cool. Let's see if he's got any more up and running. Yeah, there we go. There are the gunships. So they got some new art now. Add a new planet type for. So it's not technically a planet type. It's just a new template where we specifically set up a new template that allows you to easily generate actual desert planets that look like this. So you can have water. You have a little bit of quote unquote polar ice caps. Can't answer that question back. There's still a lot of coming art and graphics changes in the months ahead of us. So yeah, Halo Pelicans. Yep. I had actually thought that when I first saw them, they looked really cool. Yeah, the gunships are fast. But even a single flak will pretty much wipe them out in short order. So it looks like DJ is conserving his nuke. And is he actually doing anything here yet? He's got some factories built up, and he's obviously turned it into a resource farm, but I don't see any Haleys as of yet. And here we got anti-nukes and nukes coming in, so all right. These guys need to start pushing the aggression. It's technically possible to implement solar eclipse in PA engine. Technically, the HDR. Let's see, where's the sun? I don't actually know if I have HDR on at the moment. I do. Okay. Anyway, there's a lot of tuning. Obviously, a solar eclipse would have almost no actual impact, but that sort of graphical flair, I think, is certainly within the realm of possibility. No, for automation, we want to make sure that there is a lot more things you can do to automate your overall, build process and building out your bases and stuff. But chances of us actually doing, at least as part of vanilla gameplay, having AI helping players manage the planets, generally speaking, that does not work very well. I mean, at that point, you're basically playing The Sims with armies, or SimCity with armies, which is, don't get me wrong, that's cool in its own way, but it's a very different style of game, and probably, like I said, probably not something you're going to see in vanilla, but certainly something that might be moddable. And nuke war start. Yeah, planets casting shadows on it. Yeah, I kind of get what you mean, but I honestly don't know. It seems like it's certainly possible, but I'm just not sure how well that works, because when you're actually out here, while this is, the sun itself is adding, the source of some of your ambient light, the actual way shadows work is a little bit different. And like right now, if you look at this guy, he's not quite in line, but fairly shortly you could see them move into a situation where they could in theory cast the shadow and eclipse, but I'm not sure that the two bodies in question actually share the right information to be able to send that kind of shadow information. And even if they could, I have no idea how that would impact performance of the game. So AI API. So one thing about the API, the AI, and if Sorian's in the chat channel, he can probably talk about it a little more. But a lot of what the AI does is handled in JSON. So there's not so much an AI API, but it's very readily accessible data. But it is derived on the server, so you actually have to have access to the server to make changes.
Be nice if we could have an API though. Just write our own AI and just have an API to give commands to the game. That'd be cool.
All right, what do we got going here? looks like this is just going to turn into nuke wars pretty quickly, although it'll be kind of funny if DJ gets some Haleys up and running. Oh, speaking of. Yeah, and even though we got some ways to go, you do get some neat looking scenes in this game already. Alright, so I think we can see what's going to happen here. I think we'll be seeing a asteroid drop there in short order. Most is going to come down to who can get their weapons of mass implosion built sooner. Although DJ, I think, has a bit of a head start on having a kick in economy. I don't know if actually... Oh no, Tom still actually does have a little bit of a presence on the main planet, but not much of one. Oh, happy to. Yeah, happy to answer the questions when we can. Especially since I got my butt kicked and I'm just kind of watching the game now. Will modders be able to get some new engine calls in the client for things like giving orders to units even if they're not selected? That's a tricky one to answer. We're going to try and have a relatively detailed API on both server and client, but I just don't have an answer for that yet. While we certainly want to enable a fair amount of automation, we also have to be very mindful of how easy it is to cheat and kind of where the line for cheating actually starts. Oh, yeah, I can't actually really answer that question right now, Arachnus. Just keep an eye out on things over the next few weeks. The question was, area commands make the game more playable from space. Yeah, we have a lot of plans on that general thought, but I can't really go into detail right now. We generally don't hide too much for you guys, but there are some cool things that we want to do that we like to hold until we have them ready. Because, actually, for a number of reasons. Because one, they just may not work out the way we do, and two, we got to hold on to a couple of the cool things. DJ is being really conservative with those nukes. He doesn't want to fire them. I don't think Tom is going to show quite the same restraint. As I said, I didn't think Tom was going to be quite as restrained with his use of the nuke. So where's it going? That reminds me, the strat icons for nukes are still getting rendered way out of their actual path. Alright. Well, so one of the main reasons I actually stay in game, other than, it is nice to actually be able to chat with you guys, is while playing is, of course, something I love to be able to do whenever I can, I get a lot of the most interesting information when I'm seeing how other people are playing. I generally spot more bugs that way. And it's an easy to overlook part. I have no idea where that missile's going. I lost track of it, so. Yeah, the advanced energy plants, especially when they're in the dark side, are pretty dang cool. They just look pretty sweet. Now, what I'm not sure about, like I said, is where that nuke is heading. Although if Tom doesn't hurry, he might. If Tom is smart, he actually sent his nuke here, but I'm not sure if he has the intel for that yet. assisted ground unit. Fire on it. That might be broken, Jodark. Your question was, give an aircraft command to assist a ground unit. It would be nice to fly around. I thought that's what it did, but I will ask about that. There's a related bug to that actually, where attack units assisting other attack units aren't always attacking. So we need to take a look at that system overall. Anyway, I wrote it down. I will ask and investigate a bit. Did you know that? But orbital shell, where it got too close to a planet. Yeah, I mean, just in general, the orbital shell still has some polish and tuning to get it working exactly the way we want it to. Oh, and Tom did exactly what I thought he would. He sent his nuke in towards the planet, and it doesn't look like DJ has any additional. Well, that was well played. Did he? Oh. Well, that was clever. Now the question is, where is Tom's? All right. Yeah, it looks like a nuke got sent towards the asteroid, which was absolutely the right decision, but I think it may have caused a bit of a distraction. This is what I'm talking about. Indeed. How far along are unit formations? Unit formations have barely been in a week, so they're already working pretty well, but they're still very formative. Huh, no pun intended. Sorry. Yeah, formations still have, still have quite a bit of. Yep. Now, Tom's playing this really smart. Although, yeah, well, it's all advanced. He's gonna just roll through like a steamroller. No, units don't know where they should sit in formation yet, and that's one of the things that we want to make sure that we get added in at some point is a better sense of what types of units should be front, back, and ultimately that also should be something that should be client-side moddable because there's no real need for server verification. It's mostly a playstyle thing. If you prefer your formations to be one way, we want to make sure that we have support for the formation the preferential position to be pretty smart. Oh yeah. Nice. Perfect shot. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, might end the reign of the bots. Yeah, bots are still great, but the balance between bots and tanks is definitely on a more even keel now. Yes, I love defensive nukes. Although DJ better link this gate or he's gonna lose it. Like now. Yep, is it gone? It's about to be. Yep. Yeah, if he gets one or two umbrellas up, he's gonna wipe this out. Oh. So the question is, will nukes leave craters in the future? We've actually answered that question a number of times, and while that's certainly something we could enable, it's something we need to handle very, very cautiously. Right now, even when an asteroid hits, we don't update the pathing graph, and so until we do that, we're definitely not going to expand it. And even once we do that, a lot of it will depend on how performant it is, because if the entire game server has to basically come to a halt to form a crater every time someone drops like 5 nukes, it's a cool concept, but there's a lot of things we have to be mindful there. Strong mobile ground anti-air. I'm not sure. I'm not sure really what Skathis has planned on that front. I think he does have additional mobile anti-air planned, though. What was that?
I said good.
I think he does. I'm not positive. So it looks like he fired off some nukes, but I'm not sure where he actually sent them.
Oh, please tell me he's reclaiming you guys commander from orbit. That'd just be hilarious.
I don't think so.
Hmm?
And yeah, I mean, right now, the main way to counter a lot of mobile air is, you know, uh, basic ground-based mobile anti-air are, they're decent, but you also do need to, have a fair amount of peregrines if you have someone who just has an overwhelming, or just have enough fabrics going with you to get a lot of a lot of flak up. At least at the moment, I can't speak for what the plan is um, in upcoming builds with new units and whatnot. So. Nope. Attempted nuking. Did not quite go as expected. Hmm. These guys are a little bit of a standoff at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, they both have fairly hard to break positions on their respective planets, and the tiny asteroid is effectively not got a lot on it. So, just to clarify, formations, my expectation is that they will have some amount of user editable. What format that will take, I'm not entirely sure yet. Regarding the what are dev priorities, I have no idea how to answer that question.
AI. That's my dev
AI. That was Maver, by the way. I mean, our dev priority is to keep on making the game and getting all the we got a lot of systems that are well along, some systems that are just still kind of getting started, and we need to get these all put together and make a very cohesive great experience. And I think we're getting close on that. So. Yeah, in the current build of orbital launchers can build Avengers again. So I don't think they can in the current public build.
No, Michelle still works there. Michelle still works there. Okay, all right. It was Marcy.
My expectation is that there should be a way to basically a stance that tells units to either use formation or not. But I haven't actually talked to Elytron about that. So.
I missed who we were talking about. Oh God. Say no more.
Actually, that's a good question for you, Maver. Would you expect a unit stance to be formation, non-formation? So if you want to override formations, you can actually tell them to not try and go in formation?
I was hoping it was just going to be like a command key.
Or command. Well, that's what I mean by
Yeah, it'd be more likely to be a command key.
command key. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, definitely some amount of additional control there, but.
I'm pretty sure I could have seen the sexual harassment on one like literally. I think most of the company like yeah.
So I think let's see.
I knew exactly what I was getting into. There was no like
Dual screen support.
I just
Stay tuned.
to say to overlook that because I wanted to work on the project.
We're not actually working on dual screen at the moment, but we're working on some related stuff. So
That makes a lot more sense.
just keep your eyes out for that stuff. So.
Almost all of his decisions you can kind of like put into that.
So I wonder where DJ sent his nuke though, because if you send it here, he's going to get denied. Send it there, that's going to be the smart move, just to keep any Haleys from getting built up.
Or the decision might not obviously be based on his ego, but if you kind of trace it back, it's
So,
one good example. And Chris was like, no, we're not firing people because he kind of felt like doing the layoff reflected that.
all right.
We're just talking about industry gossip, that's all.
Yeah, I know.
We're just naming names.
Naming names, shaming shames.
You know, actually, I had a discussion with Jessica Tan.
Got more nukes coming in. Oh, there he goes. Boom. I figured that's where that was going. And that was a slight oversight to not get any fabbers built up on there. Yeah, what is a full firm? Yeah. Maintaining a slightly better just overall perf. Oh. And that's the game, guys. Looks like we got a server crash. So, thanks for joining us. We're gonna investigate that crash, and I'm not positive we'll see another build today, but and yes, actually, well, no, actually, we don't play it over LAN. We do connect to a data center, just like you guys do, for most of our games. While we can play over LAN, it is actually harder to set that up. We are set up on a server that is identical to what you guys normally play on the wild, but it's restricted to our development environment. So it's a single server as opposed to the 80, 90, 100 servers we have out in the wild. But our server is restricted to just our team, so we could have theoretically about 8 games playing at once. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.